control the volume. So you have to be very careful how you use them. Other stops, and there are 2 keyboards here, 2 keyboards worth of this organ, so that's approximately, let's say, 4, 6, maybe 20 or 25 out of the 50 stops on this organ are contained inside big, gigantic boxes called expression boxes. And what happens there is the boxes actually have shutters on them. The boxes have shutters. And so depending on whether the shutters are open or closed, that can tell you how loud or how soft the organ is. Now you might say, well, how do you have to assign someone to open them? Well, one of the things like the organist is always doing is tons of things all at the same time. So it's quite a lot. It's like a full context for, to play the organ. And so basically, you see these 3 big pedals in the middle there? Those 3 foot levers there? What those do is, the 2 on the left particularly, those control the Venetian blinds or the shutters in which the organ pipes are inside there. So for example, you already heard our big tuba. This is our big tuba, right? That's enclosed inside one of these boxes. And it's the positive box, and this pedal on the left I can move up and down, just like this. And even if you hear, I can let you hear it a little. If I close it all the way, it bangs a little. Hear that? Those are the doors closing. So now listen to the tuba. Not quite as loud, so I can have anything in between. Anything in between, okay? And same thing with the crumb horn, if I want that. Or I can have a whole combination of things under expression. Some of that is capable. Now, the stops on the grate, though, for example, are not enclosed. They're just, they're inside the case and they're just unenclosed. There's nothing I can do. I can set this up like this, but no matter what pedal I move, you can't change it. Here's The way to make it louder or softer is to use a quieter stop. Every time I add a different, pull out a different stop, different sounds come out, And the organist's job is to artistically and in the best possible way is to know how to combine the sounds in a way that achieves the different effect that you might want, is to use the colors. And this is why I said the organ is so capable of making the different sounds that are expressed within a human's type of emotion. So for example, what if I want something like very sprightly, and someone is so happy, and they want a little sparkly sound. Well, something like this is often nice. Or something nice and light, Something very sparkly, Or what if you feel it's Lent and everything is very somber and you're having a lot of deep contemplation, and you have some sounds that are very, very somber, Or what if, you're thinking about the fires of hell, of different things. And so it's an amazing capability. Now, I'm going to play a little piece for you that's just something I played on Sunday. It's nothing that special, but I think you'll like it. And before I do that, I want to give you the idea of how these 32-foot stops fill out the bottom of a registration. As I said, you're not going to use that big, loud bombard all by itself. You know, you won't have a piece for flute and bombard. You know, it just doesn't sound good. I mean, I could write one if I wanted, I guess. Here's my flute. You could be the piece about the Tyrannosaurus Rex and the bunny rabbit, you know. That doesn't sound too good, does it? No. But used properly, it does sound good. So, supposing I have a big registration, oops, some kind of a big registration here, like this. I'll go here. Without the 32-foot. It does sound good like that. It gives it a lot of gravity, but by itself not so good. Okay, I'm going to play this little piece for you now. And then if some of you want to try to play it, then you can. And again, I've had to adapt this because some of the organ is not working right now, but it's nothing serious. Okay. Well, that takes, a lot of years of learning the organ in some ways, sometimes a composer will tell you in the music, oh, I think this piece works well on a flute stop or with an oboe. Sometimes they don't. This composer didn't put anything, so I came up with some sounds that I thought were good. It just kind of depends. Yes?
Go ahead.
Go right ahead. Any questions are welcome. Go right ahead. Yes. What is your question?
About the keys? Did you want to ask him about the keys? He wanted to know how the keys were going down by themselves.
Okay. Excellent question. Good. Don't be shy. You want to know about the keys? Okay. All right. So this organ is a mechanical action organ. It's a tracker action. And as I mentioned how you can combine stops at different pitches, low pitch, middle pitch, high pitch, the reason the organ can create such a grand sound is because you can also combine sounds from the different keyboards and put them all together and play them on one keyboard. And you do that by using stops that are called couplers. So, for example, here is the bottom manual is the great, then the positive, then the swell. But here on the swell, I have these stops which are actually playing sounds like this. Now, there's nothing down here on the great. But what if I have really, well, one thing, what if I have really short arms? What if I'm just starting out on the organ? Oh, I can't reach all the way up to the swell here. Like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, a big dinosaur with little stumpy arms, right here. I'll say, oh, okay, Tyrannosaurus, we'll make an exception for you. If you're going to play here, we'll play the swell, but we'll couple it down to the great, and then you'll be able to reach even with your stumpy little dinosaur arms. So I'm going to pull out the stop that says swell to great. And now, anything I had up here, I have it here. And when I do so, mechanically, the keys are moving because it's coupled it down, you see? So now what I play on the great also, plays on the swell, and that's how it makes, see? And if I want to couple in something, the crumb horn from the positive, I can also do that. I put positive to great, and here they're all moving. See that? And then, when the organist wants to make the biggest, fullest sound of the organ, he or she can couple all the stops together, and that's how you get this big, big sound, as you notice here at what I had for that last registration right here. That was achieved by bringing all kinds of things together to get the sound that I wanted. So the organ is incredibly flexible. You can move things around, you can bring things together, you can, you know what I mean? If you want two completely different sounds, you can play on two keyboards at the same time, so you can have a melody and an accompaniment, If I want the trumpet, I can have the trumpet in one hand, and I can have a principal in the other hand, so, I can do... contrasting sounds, Someone else had a... Yes?
When you were pressing the footboards, they were also pushing the keys at the top as well, so you can transfer...
Yes. You can couple the manuals to the feet as well. Same exact concept. Yeah.
Are there any parts of the organ that's actually manufactured here?
No. Everything was made in Gloucester, Massachusetts. The whole thing, and it was shipped here on big 18-foot trucks, 18-wheel trucks, and members of the church came and helped carry things in, and the whole church was spread out with pipes, all over the place.
And just approximately how long did it take to assemble?
To assemble? How long did it take to assemble? 6 months? Or?
But then it was 9 months, just like everything.
Yeah. Yeah, by the time they put up a steel frame and then build the wooden case around it, then they have to put all the pipes in place and all the mechanism, and after that, once the pipes are in, then they have to tune them all, they have to regulate them, and they specifically kind of engineer it to work in this particular space, and you may notice that this acoustical space is extremely live, It's not when you might go to some churches and you might sing something and that's it. It just ends. That's it. Yes, John?
Yeah, I'm wondering if you would be willing to let each of these children play a couple of
minutes. Yes, we're about to do that. Yeah, but it's just finishing up on the questions, and so...
and the other quick question is, obviously you love what you do, and that's wonderful, and you're a seasoned musician. Just approximately, how long does it take to learn each piece? Because it seems like a lot of,
Depends on the difficulty of the piece and how accomplished the musician is and how long the piece is and how much registration there has to be and, just...
Not to discourage anyone, but just to...
No, right. It just depends. I mean, if I had to learn Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, be different than if it would be to learn a big prelude fugue of Bach, or something.
Obviously, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I learn things faster now than I did when I was younger. So, it's just...
Because you understand what it's going to do and produce and so on. I'm sure that's...
Yeah, it's a matter of understanding just music in general and the construction of musical forms and that kind of thing, but also how to use the organ.
Excellent.
You haven't said what the knobs were at the bottom.
Okay, good question. Some of you noticed that there's a lot of buttons all over this organ. Everybody loves organs because they, they just want to touch everything. Buttons everywhere you look. And what these buttons do, the little white buttons with numbers on them and the little black toe studs underneath, those are part of a system called combination action. And what that allows the organist to program different settings and combinations of stops. Supposing I'm playing a really loud piece, and then all of a sudden, a page or two into it, the composer says, oh, now play very softly. But if I have an organ this big, and I have a lot of stops out, I would have to push them all in really fast, and it'd be terribly inconvenient, But when I have something set up here, I can start, and if I say, oh, I want a very loud sound like this, then all of a sudden I think, oh boy, I want something very soft. Oh, I can go to this, just like that. Just push a button. And I've programmed in the settings that I want. And that's what those buttons do. And the same thing with the feet. If your hands are busy, you can push one with a toe. So this organ is a rare combination. We have the convenience and the sensitivity of a mechanical tracker action, but we still have some of the modern conveniences of combination action like this to be able to set up. And these numbers here, we have some levels. We have 128 levels of memory. So that means I can set every piston here, and then I can go up to level 2 and start all over again. So you can have so many combinations. And if you're playing a big concert with a lot of pieces, sometimes that's really nice. It's really nice, And if I was playing an organ that didn't have that, I would probably choose my repertoire very carefully. I wouldn't play pieces that needed really quick, dramatic changes unless I either had an assistant to pull out the stops for me, and if I didn't, then I would probably think, I better play, a piece that doesn't need as many stop changes. I could change the stops in between the pieces, but it would be like if you were a violinist, and every time you had a page turn, you had to stop playing, put down your violin, turn the page, then pick your violin back up and start playing again. And you'd think, oh boy, this is not so good, yeah. All right, are there any other questions? So, who would like to play the organ? Okay, well, let's do this. Let's form a little line over here, and any order you want, just get in the line.